Imagine doing something every year, lighting candles, smashing plates, tying knots, without ever asking why. Humanity's history is packed with bizarre customs that outlived logic, stitched into culture long after their meaning vanished. From ancient superstitions disguised as celebrations to rituals that began as total accidents, today we are diving into the 50 dumbest traditions people still practice, proof that sometimes the strangest things survive simply because no one dared to question them. Get ready to laugh, cringe, and wonder how we ever called this normal. In the Spanish village of Castrillo de Murcia, grown men dressed as devils leap over newborn babies lying on mattresses in the street. The ritual, called asterisk el colajo asterisk, dates back to the 1600s and supposedly cleanses infants of original sin. No one remembers who created it or why jumping helps, but every June terrified parents still allow it. The babies cry, the crowd cheers, and the devils soar, proof that blind faith can make even the strangest superstition feel sacred. For centuries in India, widows were forced to burn alive on their husband's funeral pyre, a ritual known as asterisk sati asterisk. It was called devotion, but it was tyranny disguised as loyalty. Banned in 1829, it lingered in secret villages where women were still told refusing asterisk sati asterisk cursed their souls. Whole generations of mothers watched daughters march into fire, not love. Even today, some temples honor those holy widows, martyrs of a culture that mistook obedience for purity. Among the Dani tribe in Papua New Guinea, grief once demanded blood. When a loved one died, women cut off a finger joint to honor the departed. The more they loved, the fewer fingers remained. It was believed their pain calmed restless spirits, keeping the dead from haunting the living. Over time, women's hands became living memorials, shaped by loss. Though outlawed now, the scars remain, tiny, haunting proofs that some cultures carved mourning directly into the flesh of memory. For nearly a millennium in China, little girls had their feet broken and bound to create lotus feet, prized symbols of beauty and status. The process began at age 5. Bones snapped, toes folded under, bound tight until the feet resembled tiny deformed flowers. Women could barely walk, yet their agony became an erotic ideal. It ended officially in 1912, but many hid bindings for decades. When they unwrapped them, decay and deformity revealed the truth. Beauty had been a slow, lifelong torture. Across Greece and Kenya, spitting is still a blessing. Greeks fake spit 3 times to ward off the evil eye, while Kenyans lightly spit on newborns for protection. The origin is ancient, an echo of fear that demons feared human saliva. Today, people spit before weddings, after compliments, even at sports events. It's half charm, half absurdity, a strange, shared instinct to fight invisible danger with droplets. Civilization evolved, but somehow, superstition still clings to our lips. In Oaxaca, Mexico, each December brings asterisk La Noche de los Rábanos, the Night of the Radishes. Farmers carve giant red radishes into sculptures of saints, monsters, and scenes from folklore. What began as a farmer's gimmick to attract shoppers has become a national obsession. Crowds flood the plaza to admire art that wilts by midnight. The beauty rots, but the ritual endures. Proof that humans can turn even vegetables into fleeting altars of devotion, carving impermanence into celebration. Every November in Lopburi, Thailand, hundreds of monkeys descend on a buffet prepared just for them. Tables stacked with fruit, sodas, and sweets beside ancient temple ruins. It began as a tourist stunt, evolved into civic pride. Locals believe feeding the monkeys brings prosperity. The primates repay it by wreaking chaos, stealing cameras, biting guests. The streets turn into a simian carnival. It's hilarious, terrifying, and uniquely human. A celebration where animals eat like kings and people cheer their own disorder. In Johannesburg's Hillbrow district, South Africans ring in the new year by throwing furniture out of their windows. Sofas, TVs, even refrigerators crash into the streets below. The idea is to throw out the old year and start fresh. But it's chaos disguised as cleansing. Authorities plead for safety, yet every year the ritual returns. The skyline becomes a storm of flying debris, and for one night, destruction feels like freedom. Humans, it seems, find release in spectacular ruin. In the Philippines, the Tinguian people once performed weddings where one partner was already dead. If a man died before marriage, his fiancée would still wed his corpse, dressed, seated upright, and surrounded by guests. It was considered sacred closure, binding love beyond life. The living bride would sit beside her decaying groom, smiling through tears. The ritual has vanished, but its photographs remain, chilling and tender, a glimpse into a world where love defied logic and death wasn't enough to end devotion. Each year in Saudi Arabia, thousands of camels compete in the King Abdulaziz Camel Festival for beauty and grace. Owners spend fortunes grooming their beasts, injecting Botox into lips and shaving ears to perfect symmetry. Judges disqualify camels that look too enhanced. What began as a Bedouin homage to endurance has become a plastic surgery pageant for animals. Millions are spent chasing an illusion of perfection in creatures bred for survival. Tradition remains, but beauty, once noble, now wears a mask. In the Czech Republic, Easter Monday isn't about eggs or flowers. It's about men whipping women. Using braided willow sticks called pomlaska, men chase and strike women lightly to bring health and fertility. In return, they're rewarded with painted eggs or shots of alcohol. What began as a pagan fertility charm now survives as playful misogyny wrapped in folklore. Laughter hides discomfort, but every year the ritual continues. A reminder that some jokes never stopped being bruises, just got better costumes. In Japan, the Haraka Matsuri, or Naked Festival, gathers thousands of nearly nude men competing to catch sacred sticks tossed by priests. Whoever grabs one is said to have a year of luck. It's chaos, shouting, sweat, collisions under freezing temperatures. Originating from purification rituals, it became a spectacle of endurance and masculine frenzy. The scene looks like madness, a crowd of half-naked men wrestling in the dark. But for Japan, it's tradition at its purest, discipline disguised as delirium. In Nepal's Gadhimi festival, devotees once sacrificed hundreds of thousands of animals, buffaloes, goats, pigeons, in honor of the goddess of power. The killing field turned red and the air filled with screams. It was believed the goddess demanded blood for prosperity. In 2015, officials banned mass slaughter, but underground rituals continue. Entire villages once danced among carcasses, believing death pleased divinity. It shows how easily faith can turn compassion into spectacle, and how gods are often fed with fear. In Denmark, single people turning 25 are publicly pelted with cinnamon powder, literally showered in spice until they resemble breaded statues. The prank, dating back centuries, supposedly mocks their unmarried status. If they stay single till 30, the punishment upgrades to pepper. What began as a joke about spice traders refusing marriage is now a national laugh. Streets smell like cookies. Friends chase each other with sacks, and somewhere inside, the fun is the quiet sting of social pressure. In South Korea, newborn babies are bathed in seaweed soup, a tradition called *myok guk*. It's eaten for weeks by new mothers too, symbolizing strength, purification, and the hope of long life. The origin lies in ancient beliefs that seaweed heals after childbirth, inspired by whales seen feeding on it. Over centuries, the ritual became an edible blessing. Birthdays across Korea still begin with a bowl of green broth, salty, simple, sacred, proof that sometimes love survives through taste, not memory. In Finland, the World Wife Carrying Championship isn't satire, it's a serious sporting event. Husbands race through obstacle courses carrying their wives upside down. The winner gets the wife's weight in beer. The event traces back to a 19th century bandit who stole women from villages. Now, it's global. Couples laugh, fall, splash, and cheer, unaware the tradition began in violence. Somehow history turned abduction into entertainment, proving that even dark origins can be rewritten when laughter is loud enough. In Indonesia's Toraja region, families exhume their dead relatives every few years to clean and dress the corpses in fresh clothes. The ritual, called *manene*, treats death as maintenance, not finality. Coffins are opened, bodies are brushed, photos are taken. It's not horror, it's love. Ancestors are part of the family, simply resting between visits. Outsiders call it macabre, locals call it duty. For them, memory isn't enough. The dead deserve company, proof that affection can outlive heartbeat. In Scotland, brides-to-be are smeared from head to toe in rotten food, fish guts, and molasses before marriage. The ritual, called blackening, is supposed to ward off evil spirits and prepare women for the hardships of marriage. Friends chase them through streets, dumping sludge while laughing hysterically. What began as a test of endurance now survives as messy comedy. It's filthy, humiliating, and unforgettable, because apparently nothing says congratulations like smelling like a decaying seafood market. In Japan, there's a festival where enormous wooden phalluses are paraded through the streets. The Kanamara Matsuri or Festival of the Steel Phallus, celebrates fertility, safe childbirth, and protection from disease. Originating in the 17th century among sex workers, it now attracts global tourists. Candy, souvenirs, and statues, all shaped like penises, fill the air with laughter and awkward smiles. Beneath the humor lies ancient reverence for creation itself, wrapped in absurdity. It's religion, comedy, and anthropology in one parade. In the Czech village of Hlinsko, locals don terrifying straw costumes with red-painted faces and horns for Masopust, a pre-Lent festival. They march house to house, dancing, shouting, and symbolically purging evil. Once pagan, now folkloric, it's half carnival, half exorcism. The costumes resemble hay demons, both ridiculous and unsettling. Children cry, adults cheer, and the same masks have passed through generations. It's a living fossil of medieval superstition, still stomping through modern streets like time forgot to update the script. In China, some families hire professional mourners, strangers paid to cry at funerals. These performers wail, collapse, and scream louder than the grieving relatives, believing dramatic sorrow honors the dead's status. The louder the mourning, the greater the love. It's an ancient practice rooted in Confucian duty, now revived in rural villages. Sometimes the grief turns theatrical, with microphones, costumes, and fake tears. In a world obsessed with appearances, even death gets a performance, proof that emotion itself can become a business. In Spain's Valencia region, villagers throw themselves at bulls for *bus al carrer, literally bulls in the street. Unlike traditional bullfighting, no matador kills. Instead, people just run, dodge, and get injured for fun. The festival causes hundreds of injuries yearly, yet it's called heritage. Young men risk their lives to prove courage, even as blood stains the cobblestones. What began as a harvest ritual became reckless entertainment, a reminder that some traditions survive because adrenaline feels holier than reason. In Madagascar, families perform famarihana, the turning of the bones. Every few years, they exhume their ancestors, rewrap them in new silk shrouds, and dance with the corpses to live music. It's a festival of death turned celebration, honoring the belief that the dead never truly leave. The smell of decay mixes with joy as generations whirl together. Outsiders see horror, locals see family reunion. It's a dance between worlds, proof that love doesn't vanish, it simply changes temperature. In Thailand, some villages practice the coffin ceremony, where people voluntarily lie inside coffins while monks chant death prayers over them. It's believed to cleanse bad karma and grant rebirth into a luckier life. Participants die symbolically, emerging reborn and debt-free. Tourists often join, giggling nervously as monks seal the lids. The air smells of incense and fear, yet everyone leaves smiling. It's reincarnation without the dying, proof that humans crave renewal, even if it's just pretend. In the UK, cheese rolling down Cooper's Hill looks like chaos. And it is. Competitors chase a 9-pound wheel of cheese down a deadly slope, tumbling, breaking bones, and laughing through pain. The first to reach the bottom wins the cheese. It's medieval in origin, possibly tied to fertility rituals or seasonal offerings. Today, it's pure mayhem disguised as tradition, broadcast worldwide. Hundreds crash and bleed for dairy glory, because sometimes insanity wrapped in heritage feels heroic. In Romania, farmers once whipped their cows with tree branches on New Year's Day to ensure better milk production. The ritual mixed pagan superstition with agricultural desperation. The idea, wake the spirit of fertility through pain. Though banned now, echoes remain in rural folklore. The cows didn't understand, but villagers swore it worked. It's the kind of logic humans excel at, turning cruelty into charm, ritual into routine, and nonsense into something that smells like faith. In Nigeria's Agungun festival, masked dancers embody ancestral spirits, believed to bless or punish the living. Their elaborate costumes shimmer with color and cloth, faces hidden, voices distorted. Touching one is taboo, it's like touching the dead. The festival fuses art, religion, and fear into a living theater. Drums thunder, dust rises, and somewhere beneath the rhythm, centuries of belief pulse alive. Outsiders see costumes, locals see ghosts walking. The veil between worlds briefly disappears, stitched together by music. In Switzerland, the Chalandamarz festival celebrates the end of winter by children marching through villages, ringing cowbells, and cracking whips to chase away evil spirits. Dressed in red caps and traditional outfits, they shout, sing, and terrify the cold itself. The roots go back to pagan rituals when people believed sound drove darkness away. Today, it's cheerful chaos, kids scaring ghosts they don't believe in, yet still carrying the echo of ancestors who once feared the silence of snow. In Turkey, men dive into icy rivers every January to retrieve wooden crosses thrown by Orthodox priests during Epiphany. It's said whoever finds the cross earns divine favor for a year. The freezing water, the shouting crowd, the scramble, it's baptism meets competition. The ritual started centuries ago as devotion, now feels like endurance sport. Some faint, others fight, but all emerge shivering and proud. In the end, faith becomes adrenaline, God measured by who swims fastest toward salvation. In Italy, every New Year's Eve, people throw old belongings, dishes, clothes, even furniture, out their windows to symbolically clear the past. Streets fill with debris and noise. The origin lies in ancient Roman purification rites, when citizens cast away bad spirits of the old year. Today, it's modern chaos disguised as cleansing, turning cities into war zones of flying clutter. It's catharsis with gravity, proof that humans still believe starting fresh means breaking something first. In Mongolia, during the Nadam festival men wrestle wearing open-chested outfits that deliberately expose their torsos. Legend says, centuries ago, a woman disguised herself as a man and won. So now, all wrestlers must show their chests to prove they're male. The rule became sacred tradition. It's a mix of pride, paranoia, and patriarchy sewn into silk sleeves. Each victory honors ancestors, but every exposed chest whispers the same message. Fear of being outwitted once became law for generations. In Japan's Honen Matsuri or Harvest Festival, villagers carry a massive wooden phallus through the streets to bless fertility and prosperity. It's absurd and sacred at once. Elderly women pray, children laugh, and tourists blush as priests chant ancient hymns. The symbol represents good harvests and safe births, yet modern cameras make it meme-worthy. What began as agricultural devotion now looks like carnival comedy, proof that even the most spiritual acts can turn hilariously human over time. In Greece, villagers of Rouket Polemos celebrate Easter by firing homemade rockets at each other's churches across a valley. Thousands of fiery projectiles light up the night as crowds cheer. The goal: hit the rival church's bell tower first. It began centuries ago under Ottoman rule as a symbolic rebellion. Today, it's fireworks fused with rivalry, religion mixed with madness. Houses burn, injuries happen, yet the rockets still fly. Faith and danger exploding together because peace, apparently, is too quiet. In India's Thaipusam festival, devotees pierce their cheeks, tongues, and skin with metal rods to honor Lord Murugan. They walk miles carrying heavy shrines called Kavadis, bleeding but silent. Pain becomes prayer, agony becomes art. Originating from a myth of divine sacrifice, it's now a display of devotion that blurs faith and self-harm. Tourists faint, participants smile through wounds. For them, endurance is enlightenment, proving that some people find God in places most would never survive. In Bolivia, every May, miners in the town of Potosi offer alcohol, cigarettes, and even llama fetuses to a horned statue called El Tío, believed to rule the underworld. Before entering the mines, workers sprinkle coca leaves and whisper prayers for safety. Christianity above, the devil below, two faiths coexisting uneasily. It's a haunting pact: feed the demon or die in the dark. Modern helmets, ancient fears, proof that even progress can't silence the gods beneath the earth. In the Ivory Coast, the Zauli dance turns a single masked dancer into a living whirlwind. The mask, carved from sacred wood, represents feminine beauty and ancestral power. When drums begin, the dancer's feet move faster than the eye can follow, grace and possession merging. Women cheer, elders chant, and the mask's spirit is said to awaken. What began as tribal reverence has become a viral sensation. Cameras flash, but behind every step still lingers the ghost of worship. In Spain's town of Burgos, men dressed as devils jump over rows of infants during asterisk, el salto del colegio asterisk, to cleanse them of sin. The sight is surreal. Babies on mattresses, demons leaping midair, priests blessing afterward. The ritual began in 1620 to scare away evil, but no one remembers how airborne exorcism became baby tradition. Tourists gasp, parents smile nervously, and logic stays home. In the end, humanity's oldest superstition remains: fear disguised as faith, faith disguised as flight. In Serbia, families celebrate a bizarre holiday called asterisk Slava asterisk by honoring their household's patron saint with a feast, wine, and an obligatory cake that's symbolically broken, not cut. Each family inherits their saint through bloodline, never changing it. Guests must taste the bread or risk offending both host and heaven. The table becomes sacred battlefield of politeness and pressure. It's part Christianity, part ancestral code, religion as inheritance, eaten yearly, proving faith can be as much genetic as spiritual. In Venezuela, the asterisk Dancing Devils of Yari Asterisk Festival sees hundreds of masked men dressed as red devils marching through town, dancing before the church. Once symbols of rebellion, the devils now surrender to priests at noon, symbolizing good's triumph over evil. The dance fuses African Catholic and indigenous traditions, turning exorcism into carnival. Drums echo through heat and incense. Outsiders see performance, locals see redemption. It's a wild waltz where salvation comes wearing horns and sweat. In England's tiny village of Brockworth, people chase burning tar barrels downhill during asterisk bonfire night asterisk. Men sprint while balancing flaming barrels on their shoulders, sparks flying into cheering crowds. The tradition began as a symbol of defiance after the gunpowder plot, but turned into fiery spectacle. Burns are common, chaos expected, yet participants call it honor. Fire, danger, heritage, all rolled into one inferno. Watching it feels like witnessing humanity's oldest addiction, turning risk into ritual and calling it joy. In Ethiopia, members of the Hamar tribe perform the asterisk Ukuli Bula, a coming-of-age ritual where young men must run naked across the backs of several bulls without falling. If they succeed, they can marry. If they fail, they're mocked for years. Female relatives are whipped beforehand to show loyalty, their scars worn proudly as proof of family honor. Dust rises, drums pound, bulls bellow. It's chaos made sacred, a brutal dance of pain, pride, and passage that turns blood into blessing. In China's Yulin province, the infamous Dog Meat Festival sees thousands of dogs slaughtered and eaten to celebrate the summer solstice. Organizers claim it's tradition. Most Chinese citizens call it cruelty. It began decades ago as a local custom, not an ancient rite, yet continues under cultural defense. Dogs are paraded in cages, their cries drowned by fireworks. The feast is said to bring luck, but mostly it reveals something darker, the human talent for normalizing horror. In Austria's alpine villages, December brings Krampusnacht, the night of the Krampus. Men dressed as horned demons roam icy streets, dragging chains and wielding whips, punishing misbehaving children. Originating from pagan winter spirits, it was absorbed into Christmas folklore as St. Nicholas's monstrous companion. Children scream, parents laugh, and the creature snarls through torchlight. It's half nightmare, half festival, a reminder that even joy in Europe's snowiest towns comes with fangs, fire, and moral terror, disguised as fun. In India's Nag Panchami festival, devotees worship live snakes, offering milk and flowers to cobras believed to embody divine power. Snake charmers parade serpents through villages, kissing their heads and draping them over shoulders. The roots stretch to ancient serpent deities of fertility and rain. Despite venom, people bow in reverence, believing harming a snake brings curse. Science says milk kills them. Faith says it feeds them. It's one of those rituals where devotion ignores biology entirely. In Peru's Takanakui festival, entire villages gather on Christmas Day to fight. Literally. Men, women, even elders square off in organized fistfights to settle grudges before the new year. Police supervise, priests bless, and crowds cheer. Afterward, opponents hug and drink together. What seems barbaric is actually social reset, violence repackaged as forgiveness. Bloodied noses replace courtrooms, brawls maintain peace. It's raw, bizarre, and effective, a brutal therapy session disguised as Christmas cheer. In South India's Adi Peruku celebration, women gather at riverbanks to float flower garlands, jewelry, and food in gratitude for water's abundance. It's a Tamil ritual, blending devotion and ecological symbolism. Yet, behind the beauty lies subtle superstition. Unmarried women believe the river spirit blesses them with good husbands. The air smells of jasmine and wet earth. Prayers ripple with rhythm, and as offerings drift away, so does reason, leaving faith glimmering like petals on current. In Spain's small town of Ibi, every December 28th hosts Els Enfarinats where residents stage a mock military coup using flour, eggs, and firecrackers. Streets turn white as citizens battle for control of the town hall. The winners collect fines for charity, chaos reigns supreme, and laughter echoes through explosions. It began as satire centuries ago and never stopped. The result, a town literally at war with breakfast ingredients. Proving absurdity can be its own tradition. In Cambodia, during the Chum Ben festival, people gather at temples before dawn to fling balls of rice into the air, food offerings meant to feed hungry ghosts. It's believed that ancestral spirits roam for 15 days, seeking nourishment. The ritual mixes fear and love, reminding the living not to forget the dead. Monks chant, incense burns, and unseen guests are fed. Whether anyone's eating doesn't matter. The gesture keeps the invisible family forever fed by memory. In the United States, Groundhog Day is celebrated every February 2nd, when a rodent predicts the weather. If it sees its shadow, winter lasts 6 more weeks. The custom came from German immigrants blending folklore with meteorology. Crowds gather in Punxsutawney, cheering a confused groundhog as cameras flash. It's charming nonsense, a modern oracle in fur. The nation's climate science advances, yet millions still await a marmot's verdict. Proof that superstition, when cute enough, never truly dies. In Japan, Setsubun marks the start of spring by having families throw roasted soybeans out their doors, shouting, Oni wa soto, fuku wa uchi, demons out, fortune in. Fathers often wear demon masks while children pelt them with beans, laughing as they banish evil. The ritual descends from ancient exorcisms meant to cleanse homes of bad luck. Today, it's playful chaos with spiritual undertones, a family food fight against invisible forces. Small beans, big symbolism, fear made edible, then thrown away.